If I answered the telephone and someone said, "Could I hear you?" I would immediately say yes, because I'm always having to repeat people and ask, they're used to also repeating, themselves because they can't hear, and sometimes they feel like the person can't hear. And our seniors are so vulnerable. They're the perfect target because they still believe people.
Especially because I be working and then I have to stop and answer the phone, and I mean, they really is nerve-wracking. Now I look at the phone and I see that it's one of them and I just don't answer. And like I tell them, if I want to buy something, I'll just buy it. I know what I want and I know where to get it, so I don't need to call it. But it's a problem. It's a real big problem. But you gotta do this, you gotta do that, and you aren't supposed to do all that, so I'm not the one that they're gonna get, so I wish they'd leave me alone. Yes.
They told me that I was an instant winner, and I have received so much money in thousands, you know what I'm saying? But all I would have to do was send them $800 to receive my money. That shit crazy.
What did you say to them?
Well, first I kept replying and tried to see what was up, and they sent me, messages saying, well, if you send the money here or you send it there, and we receive the money, then you'll receive your money. I didn't send them nothing. So, thank you.
Yes, I have my number registered on the do not call list. A lot of people think telemarketers are annoying, but I kind of think they're a little gift from God.
Joy in your life.
It's kind of like a little opportunity for a little bit of joy in your life. They can't hang up. If you don't swear or threaten them, their job is to listen to whatever you have to say. I used to always get a kick out of telemarketers calling, being able to talk to them, have a little fun with them. But now it seems like only robots call. You can't have any fun with a robot. It's like they've got our number, and boy, do they know how to use it.
That's not true.
I was told by putting my number on the do not call list it would block telemarketers. That's not true. When I look at my phone and I see it's a random city in a random state, I know it's a telemarketer.
Please press the number 1 on your phone now to speak with a live operator and lower your interest rate, or press the number 3 to discuss.
What are they talking about?
Thank you.
I don't have any loans.
Daniel Wiseman calling you from the legal department of Internal Revenue Services. This is in reference to a criminal lawsuit filed against you.
So, man, these seems like they're always calling, And this would just be the kind of video, like, it'd be like over some things that are said. How do your cats react when they know? I don't know what to say to that. Sometimes I'm on the phone with the telemarketer, like, hang on, call waiting. Oh, yeah, I just combine them. And like, instead of like one of them selling, and like they just start like arranging trades. Right, well, why do you do 2 of these? You can get one of these. Right. Really, you're trying to sell a king size bed. I've got the Prince of Persia on the other line. Trying to, he needs a little money. He's on money. So, or I'm the prince, they say. It's like, with this. Well, it's like throw it sometimes. It's like, get this away.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey, Brent. Come on in. Appreciate it. It's lovely.
They do not know who they're calling. They could call a bank of numbers. Like if your number starts with 518, they just call a bank of numbers starting with 518. They don't know who they're calling. So what they try to do is get you to give them the personal information about yourself, your name, your address, what you do. And if you don't give them any of that information, then you're okay. And I would just suggest if you get a call and you don't know who it is, and they start asking questions, personal questions about your personal identity, just hang up. Just hang up and don't give them any information. Well, the main thing is if you are interested in something that they are trying to sell to you, don't send them any money in the front. In other words, like if they're going to sell you a product and you're interested in that product and you want to buy it from them, fine. But just get them to ship it to you, and when you get the product, then you can pay for it. But if you pay for it in the front, you don't have any control over it. And don't use a debit card. Anytime you purchase something on the internet, use your credit card. Because with a credit card, you've got some type of backup from the credit card company. They will work with you to get your money back. With a debit card, if you pay with a debit card, it's gone. There's no way to recover that money.
So, telemarketers, they've been calling people for years, and so the cell phone thing just came up. But before, with the landlines, you could get on the do not call list.
That's right. And you can get on the do not call list on the cell phone too. We don't really recommend it. You can do it if you want to, but again, they don't have any information on those cell phones. They don't know who they're calling. So if you want to get on a do not call list, fine, but certainly get on the do not call list on your landline.
With the do not call list, what would happen if they still call you?
If they still call you, the best thing to do is to call the Public Service Commissioner. We've got the Public Service Commissioner here in Shreveport, and you can call their office and tell them that you're getting these calls, and they will try to do something about it. But that's what you need to do, is just report it to the Public Service Commissioner.
And the reason why they're turning towards cell phones now opposed to landlines is just because people more often have cell phones.
That's correct. That's correct. And it's just like millennials, that most of them don't have landlines. They've got cell phones. So somehow they're trying to get those numbers so that they can call.
And some of the people that are calling, they may be really trying to sell something, but other people, it's a scam.
They're trying to steal your identity is what they're trying to do. And they make big money trying to steal your identity. What they do is that if they get enough information, they would use that information to set up a credit account, charge things to you, buy an automobile, all types of products that they might try to purchase with your information.
Sounds like a headache.
Yeah, it is. It is a headache.
So what are some tips on how to avoid some scams?
In other words, if again, like we're talking, if you don't know who you're talking to, just hang up. You got a call and you don't know who it is, just hang up. We talked about don't send money, and don't believe it. In other words, the bottom line, Joel, is that if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is, and just don't get caught in it. It says be cautious about what you share on social media. Now, maybe they can go on social media and try to pick up some cell phone numbers, if you've got that information on your Facebook or whatever. But just don't put personal information on that website. There you are. There's a whole list of them. You can take that with you. Okay?
Thank you very much. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have their number right on their Facebook page. It's how we contact people a lot of times for the morning show. We're looking to do an interview. If we don't have the person's number, we just type in their name on Facebook and it pops up and there's a number and call them and set it up right away.
Okay, well maybe that's where they're picking up the cell numbers. But don't you feel like that you shouldn't put that information on Facebook?
Oh, I agree. I agree.
No reason to, really. Huh. No. Okay.
Well, may I get just a little what we call B-roll?
Sure.
Just
sure.
Yes, just you with your computer.
Sure. I can. I don't know if you're familiar with the Better Business Bureau or not, but we have a ton of information on businesses, and that's what we're here for. You can go to BBB. In other words, if you Google BBB Shreveport. And here's our website, which is BBB of Central Louisiana and the Arklatex. And all kinds of information, in other words, all kind of news information. And if you want to check on a company, you just type the name of the company in here. Shreveport, Louisiana. And here's KTAL News. That's not correct, huh?
No, sir. Unless that was someone else from before, but I've never.
Okay.
Not
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Hello?
Hi. Would you be interested in switching over to TMI long distance service?
Oh, gee, I can't talk right now. Why don't you give me your home number and I'll call you later?
I'm sorry. We're not allowed to do that.
Oh, I guess you don't want people calling you at home.
No.
Well, now you know how I feel.
Oh, telemarketers. They can be a pain, and it doesn't matter if it's your landline or your cell. Telemarketers can be a pain, and it doesn't matter if it's your landline or your cell. Oh, telemarketers. They can be a pain. Oh, telemarketers. They can be a pain, and it doesn't matter if it's your landline or your cell. They're that all too familiar nuisance on the other end of the phone. Even comedian Jerry Seinfeld has answered their calls. And even comedian Jerry Seinfeld has answered their calls. It's like they've got our number, and boy, do they know how to use it. Andy Fisher is the president of the Better Business Bureau in Shreveport. He says at first, our number is all they know. Fisher also says unsolicited calls are like fishing lines in the water, and they're just waiting for you to bite the hook. I've yet to find someone who appreciates telemarketing phone calls, whether it's a live operator or a robo. Whether it's a live operator or a robocall. Whether it's a live operator or a robocall. Whether it's a live operator or a robocall. When you receive a call and they ask you to press 1 to talk to a representative, that's what makes it a robocall, and it's not only annoying, but it's also illegal. When you receive a call and they ask you to press 1 to talk to a representative, that is what makes a robocall. That's what makes it a robocall. When you receive a call and they ask you to press 1 to talk to a representative, that's what makes it a robocall. And it's not only annoying, but it's also illegal. So is caller ID spoofing. Now that's when a telemarketer will use a different number every time they call. So is caller ID spoofing. That is when a telemarketer will use a different number every time they call. To help with these telemarketing phone calls, the Federal Trade Commission created the National Do Not Call Registry. To help with these telemarketing phone calls, the Federal Trade Commission has created the National Do Not Call Registry. Well, it can take up to 31 days to process your information, so give it some time for the telemarketing calls to stop. So give it some time for the telemarketing calls to stop. With just one call to this number, you can block your number. With just one call to this number, you can block yours for 5 years. With just one call to this number, you can block yours for 5 years. Or you can register your phone online at donotcall.gov. The FTC says that most legitimate companies comply with the rules, but if you continue to receive telemarketing phone calls, it probably means they're not a bona fide product. But if you continue to receive telemarketing phone calls, it probably means they're not a bona fide product or service, and the FTC recommends you file a complaint. In order to do this, you'll need to provide the date of the call and the phone number of the company. In order to do this, you'll need to provide the date of the call and the phone number or the company's name. In order to do this, you'll need to provide the date of the call and the phone number or the company. Here are some more tips. Ask your carrier about call blocking services. Here's some more tips. Ask your carrier about call blocking services they offer. There are a few apps, like Privacy Star, for example. It's a smart block feature that takes data from other users and automatically blocks the numbers that are most complained about. There's apps like Privacy Star, for example. It is a smart block feature that takes data from other users and automatically blocks the numbers that are the most complained about. Hopefully these tips will help you stop the ringing and hang up on those telemarketers. Joel Rogers, Fox 33. Yeah, that right there. Did you just hear that? When you receive a call and they ask you to press 1 to speak to a representative, that is a robocall. It's not only annoying, but it's also illegal. It's like they've got our number, and boy, do they know how to use it.
message system. 31828617773 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may...
Hello? He said, "This is Tony Moore. Can you hear me clearly?" And I just hung up. I didn't say another word. They're extremely annoying. I'm on the National Do Not Call Registry, and I guess that means nothing these days.
Hi, this is Josh from the Customer Service Department. Can you hear me okay?
We have seen these robocalls get more sophisticated and even mimic things like background noise to convince you as the recipient of the phone call that it's a real person. This will continue to open up different ways for fraudsters to try and pretend that they are us and commit fraud that will eventually hit our pocketbooks.
Hello?